Yeah, so let's just continue. Let's get right into it, right? So welcome again to um, today's session, this evening session. So this morning we looked at earlier we looked at position sizing, lot size, and all of that. And I also showed you by way of just to recap, anyways. I also showed you the tool I particularly use for you know sort of position sizing, when I'm entering trades. So instead of me having to bug myself, calculating, okay, this is number of lots I should use, this number of lots I should use, I simply just use the tool, and it automatically, calculates everything I need, to enter a trade, and also all that I need to understand what I'm risking and what rewards, I'm actually working towards. So we've been able to cover that, and I want to believe that has laid a good foundation, for everyone. So now we're going to be going to, of course, I'll be opening the floor at first off for question and answers, and then after that, I'll be able to answer any specific questions you have. But just before I open the floor for that, just to go through something, when you look at my screen here, I have something called speed, and also sniper. This actually frameworks that I build, and it's going to be fully available, even in the course eventually, the stock and profit course when it's ready. So the speed and sniper, framework basically is just what you have here, right? So those are acronyms that stand for different things, and also, these are things that govern your trading. So when you think about speed, you're talking about strategy. As a trader, you must have a strategy that you test in the market, that it works, and then you use the strategy in your trading, right? So that's something that's very important for you to understand and to have. And all we've been doing so far is to be able to lay that foundation for you to be able to understand how to approach the market, the strategy. How do you do multi-time frame analysis? How do you go from one time frame to to higher time frames, to the medium time frame, and then the lower time frame for trade execution. We've gone through all of that, and that is all part of the process of building a strategy. So most people, unfortunately, who come into forex trading just think that, okay, after 1-2 months I'll begin to make thousands of dollars, I'll become a millionaire. If that was easy and that was true, then everybody's going to be a millionaire, right? But the reality and the truth is that forex itself takes a lot of discipline. So you must have a strategy that you understand, you've tested, and that you can put to practical use, and execute trades based on that strategy. And that's what we've been trying to do, all this while. The second thing is psychology. Now I'm just touching on this, not really going into the in-depth. But then psychology. Now, you will hear a lot of traders or people who have tried trading before. They'll always tell you, or those who are successful, they'll tell you that, hey, strategy is good, but psychology is almost like 80% of trading. And the reason is simply because when it comes to risking real money, for example, if you're trading a demo, you're not risking real money. Your emotions are not really in play. But if you're trading real money, by the time you begin to see all this type of movement, you're tagged in, oh, you're into profit, and then it swings back, and then literally your emotions will become unstable. That's just the truth. So for you to get to that level where you become a pro trader, you have to master your psychology. You have to be able to control your emotion. You have to be comfortable seeing your trade get up to this point and reversing, and you just not doing anything, like literally just waiting. So your psychology has to get to that level. Many traders struggle with that, and that is why they're not able to get into the fullness of what they can become, if only they were disciplined, right? So psychology plays a bigger role. You will get to understand that after you're done learning all the strategy, you know how I enter trades, you know how I analyze the market. But at the end of the day, if your psychology is still not where it should be, you're still going to be at a worse place. You're still going to be losing trade, because there's a lot of instability with how you enter trades, how you manage your trades, and all of that. So psychology is super important. And then execution. Now, your execution, it's one of the major ingredient that makes you a successful trader. Because I can tell you, let me give you an example. You can look at this. you can look at this market now, and the funny thing is there are times when, and these are all psychological flaws, right? There are times when I also fall prey to some of these things, right? Sometimes I would just freeze. Like, you just freeze. You see a trade setup that you're supposed to take, and for some reason you just freeze. You choose not to take the trade setup, and then what happens? It plays in your favor, right? Because of execution. Not that you didn't know the strategy, you knew what to look out for, you knew how to enter the market, but then when it came to the time to execute the trade, a lot of times traders would just freeze. Fear, the fear of, just fear. You're afraid, you don't want to lose the trade. Different things just play out, and then you're able to execute. So execution is one of the important components of the speed framework, and then experience. You cannot succeed in Forex without experience. I tell you, every successful trader you see, if you see anybody who tells you that they started learning Forex 1 month and the next month they became profitable, I can tell you, take it to the bank, it's pure lies, right? Possibly they made large sums of money, maybe just by gambling, which can happen, but then not that they consistently continued making profit just after learning for 1 month. It really doesn't happen that way. You don't have a pilot go learn how to fly an aircraft for 1 month and then the next month is flying a commercial jet. That wouldn't happen, right? The same way too in trading is a business. You need experience, as with everything in life. A footballer doesn't just go to the football academy the first month and the second month they become superstars. Messi, Ronaldo, all the great names, Pele and all these guys. It was experience that built them to become who they became. So if you also are going to become successful, you have to understand that, hey, I need experience. I'm going to give my all, my 100% to this thing, because I know that in the next 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, I'll be at the point where I'm netting thousands of dollars. So is that not worth it? You go to university, you spend time, 4 years, and then you come out, you're looking for a job and all of that. And you have a skill that can empower you for life. Literally, you can be anywhere in the world, and you have a skill that you just need to look at the chart and know how to map and know where to enter and know what to look out for. And with that, you're netting thousands of dollars. That is real freedom. And the goal for trading, by the way, of course, is to have resources so you can live, you can have freedom in life. Unfortunately, most people in life are stuck with jobs and with unfulfilled lives. But a lot of traders who come into it with the right mindset, knowing that they're willing to put in the work, and it will require the experience of actually falling down in the market, literally falling and rising until you master your skill, you master everything. Those who come in with that mindset are the ones who usually stay longer, and then eventually they gather the necessary experience and they become successful. And then lastly, the speed framework, discipline. You have to be disciplined. I'm going to be talking about, and I'm also going to be sharing with you on journaling. Now, journaling has to do with, journaling and literally just taking notes of your trades, patterns in the market, taking snapshots of, what you have, and just making sure that you're literally just, journaling everything. I'm going to show you, a little on that. That may not be today, depending on the questions that we get. I'm going to show you also how, to journal that on Notion, particularly. So you must have the discipline to be able to, journal your trades. The discipline to be able to wake up every day and then just show up, look at the chart, try to analyze the chart, build that experience, that discipline of always doing it. A footballer or a boxer is not always excited that he or she has to wake up every morning to maybe jog or maybe do some exercises. They're excited about getting into the ring and winning. But the daily routine of having to stand up and do all those exercises, it's of course, it's going to tell on the body, and that's not something convenient. But they know that they have to do it because they have something they're aiming for. That's the same thing also with trading. You need to have the discipline to wake up every morning, Monday to Friday, of course, and even weekends when you review, to wake up in the morning, map the chart, see how how price moves around, try to understand, okay, change of character, okay, break of structure, okay, after a change of character I'm expecting a pullback, and then you see this, a pullback, it comes back into the zone. Okay, after that, I have a break of structure here. What happens after a break of structure? I'm expecting a pullback, and then it pulls back again, and all of that. You need to do that, literally every day, and take snapshots. You're journaling, you're watching the market, looking at price action, watching price action, how price moves, building all of that experience, and that forms, the speed framework. It's speed, but speed, you take things slowly, right? And that's how you run fast in the reality of when it comes to the reality of trading. And then, of course, now the next thing I just want to highlight, it's sniper. So sniper stands for skilled. You have to be skilled. You need to build, your skill. You need to understand, the strategy. You need to master the strategy. You have to be skillful. Every, successful footballer is skillful. Every successful trader is skillful. They know the market. They are not guessing. They don't just come into the market and say, oh, I see the price going like this. I used to do this, of course. Or amateur traders do this, right? They wake up in the morning and they see the market going like this. Oh my God, they say, oh, price is going. And then they enter here. What happens? Price starts reversing and they say, oh, some broker somewhere is watching my trade or is fighting me and all of that. Just big time rubbish, right? So you need to be skilled. You need to even know what to look out for. I used to wake up, when I had started, I used to wake up sometimes in the middle of the night, during Asia session, and then I watch the market, and sometimes you just see candles just move like that. And what happens? I say, oh, I'm thinking, I'm not following some, mechanical tested strategy. I'm just thinking, I say, oh, I wake up in the morning, I see a large candle like this, and I see these two candles like this, and what happens? I say, oh, this is going to continue to go up, and oh my, you enter, and then what happens? It pulls back, and you say, oh, this is just someone trying to work against me, or market making, all of those funny conspiracy theories that people just come up with. The truth about it is, there are 1,001 strategies to trade the market, but you have to stick with one that you understand, one that you are willing to master, and you become skilled in it. So you have to be skilled. And then the next thing is you have to be nimble. Now, nimble means being flexible, right? So when it comes to the reality of executing trades or having a bias in the market, I may wake up in the morning and say, okay, because I've seen this, I've seen that, I'm expecting that this would happen. But it doesn't have to happen, right? It's just based on, back testing, it's based on strategy, it's based on data, that I expect something to happen. But the market doesn't necessarily have to do that. It can decide to do the direct opposite. And so you have to stay nimble, you have to stay flexible. If the market goes in the other direction, you have to look for structure. Okay, have we changed structure? Is it a liquidity grab? Is it something, I need to watch out for? You have to stay nimble, you have to be flexible. And then you have to be intelligent, of course. When it comes to trading, you have to be intelligent, right? To even learn all these concepts of, we're looking at all these things, break of structure, change of character, all of these concepts, risks to reward management, and, lot sizes, take profit, stop loss. The whole concept of trading, it requires that you have to be intelligent to be able to grasp all these things. And then you have to be patient. Now, this is where a lot of people lose it. If you're not patient enough to wait for the setups that you understand, and you begin to guess, I think, and you're following your thinking, your intuition, not necessarily following your mechanical strategy, this must happen before I enter a trade. If you're not patient enough, then you'll always be caught on the wrong side of the market. Now, these are not things that, will just happen overnight. It will take patience, it will take practice, it will take time, but you just have to, have that always, at the forefront of your mind, and then you follow that. And then, of course, you have to be emotionally stable. Traders are usually people who, undergo different emotions. Imagine if you have a trade like this, and the trade enters, goes up, comes down. Imagine how your emotions would just be jumping all around the place, right? So traders are people who are emotionally stable. Every professional trader, I can tell you today that if I have a trade, and I've had this, I think I've also done some trade recaps on some trades that, I got me tagged. In fact, one of them got me tagged in, something like this. Then I think it came up to probably here, and then it now reversed and almost touched my stop loss. I think I did a trade recap of that trade recently. Almost touched my stop loss, but I saw it. I didn't take out the trade because for me, when I chose to put my stop loss here, that was where I was willing to have the trade invalidated. So if the trade goes against me, I'm willing to take that loss. and then it came back here, and then it reversed completely, and then went and hit my take profit. And that's the reality of trading. And so you have to be emotionally stable for you to be able to become a skilled successful trader. You have to watch the market. You have to be comfortable. In fact, let me even tell you one of the exercises I used to do. I'll enter a trade, and then when I enter the trade, of course, my stop loss is in place, my take profit is in place. By the way, there are some traders that believe they don't, enter with maybe take profit or stop loss. Well, it may be their own strategy, but the stop loss and take profit is for your own benefit because you want to preserve capital. Some have mental stop losses that they use, and they don't necessarily put stop loss, and they just enter and trade like that. But well, the stop loss is there because anything can happen. Your computer can hang, or your internet can just go off, and then if you're not in the trade and you cannot actively manage the trade, what happens if the trade continues to go against you? Then you take a lot of losses. So different things can happen. So that's why the stop loss and the take profits are super important. So anyways, you have to be emotionally stable for you to be able to just watch a trade and allow it to play out. So as I was saying, I used to do this exercise. I would enter a trade, and then I would just be watching price action. I was using that to practice, how will I put it? To practice bringing my emotions under control. So literally, I will enter a trade and I'll watch price just go up, go down, and I'll tell myself it's simple. I'm not going to touch this trade, and I'm just going to be watching it. I wanted to sort of master my emotions because when price goes up and down like that, the truth about it is that it plays on your emotion, because you see yourself, oh, $4,000 profit, and then minus this, oh, 1,000 profit, and then minus this. You see, it's your emotions are just going to be dancing around the place. So you have to get to that point where you are emotionally stable. You watch the trade and you have literally no emotions. If it's a loss, no problem. If it's a profit, all good. It's a game of probability. What I know is that if I take trades, this is the whole idea of trading. If my first trade is a loss, my second trade is a loss, my third trade is a loss, my fourth trade is a win, my fifth trade, let's say, is a loss, my sixth trade, let's say, is a win, my seventh trade, let's say, is a loss, my eighth trade, let me shift this. Let's say my 8th trade is a win, right? And then let me say my ninth trade was a loss, and then my 10th trade was a win. Now, if we count this, you're going to see something interesting, and it's good that we're even here. So you're going to see something interesting. Now, this was a loss. How many losses? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 losses. 6 losses out of 10 trades. In other words, I won 4 trades, right? Let's do some mathematics here. This is how trading works. So 4 wins, right? 4 wins plus 4 losses. Now, how it works is this. If, for example, for each trade I take, for me, for example, the minimum I go for is usually 1 to 5, right? So let's say, for example, I took, my wins were 6, I guess. Yeah, so let's say, for example, I took all these 10 trades, and out of these 10 trades, I had 6 losses and I had 4 wins. Now, 4 out of 6, let's look at let's do some mathematics here. So let's say I risked 1 to 5, right? So that means, let's assume I was risking $1,000 for each trade, and then that means I made $5,000 per trade, right? Now, of course, I'm not putting into consideration maybe commissions that you get charged and all of that. Let's just assume it was $5,000, right? So I made $5,000, so 5K, right? So 5K times, this is going to be times 4. That's going to give me 20. That's 20K, right? So I made 20K, right? So I made $20K. Now, my losses, this is going to be 6, right? 6K. That means because I'm risking $1,000 per trade. So if the trade was a loss, that means I would have actually lost 1,000 per trade, right? So we're making that assumption. So I lost six trades. That means 6 times 1,000. That's 6,000, right? So sorry, what am I doing? I lost $1,000 per trade times 6. that will be equal to 6K, right? So at the end of the day, when you do the subtraction, 20K minus 6K, what happens? I end up with 14K at the end of the day. So I'm still, in profit, just winning 4 trades and losing 6. Winning 4 trades and losing 6. So at the end of the day, you have to come to that level where you understand that trading is really a game of probability. You first have to look for a strategy that works, a strategy that is tested, and then you understand that, okay, even if I take a loss first time, loss second time, loss third time, it really doesn't matter. All that matters is I see my setup, I follow my trade plan, and I take the trade. It might be a win, it might be a loss, but I know that I have an edge. And my edge is that my strategy works, and my strategy through backtesting, proves to me that if I stick to my strategy, I'm going to be in a win in long term. So I simply just stick to my strategy, and I know that even if I just have a few wins, I'm going to be winning, right? Now let's even assume, for example, you only have 3 wins and you lost 7 trades. Imagine that you took 10 trades, you had 3 wins and you lost 7 trades. Now that means this would be 5 times 3, which is going to give us 15. And then here you lost $1,000 times 7. So this is going to be 7,000. So even if you do this 15 minus 7, that will give you, am I correct? Yeah, 1,000 times this, so that's 15, this 7K. So that's going to give you 8, right? $8,000. So you're still going to be in profit. You only won 3 trades out of 10 trades. You're still going to be in profit. That's the meaning, right? So in trading, you have to be emotionally stable. Now, why I'm taking the pain to do this is for you to understand that in trading, you don't have to win all the time. What really matters is you understand the strategy, you understand how to enter the market, and you can win. You can just win only 7 trades and lose. You can just win 3 trades and lose 7 trades, and you'll still be profitable. That's the reality of trading, So, but to achieve something like this, it takes a lot of emotional stability, right? You have to be emotionally stable. You literally don't cut short your winning trades, because the danger is if you're not emotionally stable, you enter a trade, you see just move a little bit into profit, oh, you cut off the trade. And then at the end of the day, because you're cutting your wins, instead of you to be in profit, you'll be in loss, because your loss will always hit your stop loss, but your profit, you're always cutting it short. So based on your trading plan, you end up, with losses. So this is the reality, of trading. So you don't have to win, all the time in trading, and the human emotion is not really wired that way, So that is it. And then lastly, okay, I've just been ranting, right? So lastly, on the sniper framework, is responsible. You have to be responsible. You need to be able to get that point where sometimes I've met traders who just say, amateur traders, of course, who say, well, I was trading and maybe the broker was doing this or doing that against me. It doesn't matter. What really matters is you have a trade and you take responsibility for your trades. If it's a loss, you are the one who entered the trade, not the broker. If it's a win, it's your responsibility. So you have to take responsibility for your wins and your losses. And I tell you, when you have that mindset, it changes everything, because you're not looking for who to blame. You're always taking responsibility. I took the trade. It was my error. I should have probably placed my stop loss better. I will do it better next time. When you take responsibility, I tell you, it will improve your confidence, and it will just make you, to begin to see the results that are necessary. So this is that, or that is that on the speed plus sniper framework. This is just, I'm just touching on this. These are basically concepts that are much more elaborated in the course itself, but I believe this has been beneficial. So this is a concept of trading, and this is something you have to know. For me, I have this here on the chart, and I did this because I always want to see this, and just in case you're asking, let me also just show you how I was able to do this. This is basically a tool, just a watermark like tool, as you can see. I have the custom text here, so I have everything, the speed, the strategy, everything is in here. And then I determined, I want it to be at the top, at the center, so I can move it around. So for me, I put it at the top there because I always want to see when I'm analyzing the market, and also when I want to enter trade, in case I'm trying to do something funny, I can always be reminded that, hey, patient, emotionally stable, disciplined, psychology, responsible. So these things are always shouting at me, so that way I'm able to stay, on the mark. So yeah, so it's a watermark light indicator kind of that someone developed. How you can just get this is go here to the top here, indicators, and then when you click this, you just click indicator. For me, I have start some I don't even use that I need to remove from here, but you can see the watermark one. I have different types of watermark here, so I just search for watermark. On your when you click on indicator, you can see there are a lot of people who develop some of these different types of watermarks. So you can just explore. If it works for you, fine. So yeah, so I took one of them and I have it here. I also have one here on ParutoCapital.com, and that's what's showing this here. So I have two watermarks here, right? So those are things you can sort of maybe also add and explore. So yeah, so that is that. So now, okay, good. So I just gave you a sneak peek into Paruto Capital website. So the Paruto Capital website, anyways, it's for now it's locked. So when you come, you only see this. We've been changing this number of days with reason. Sorry, let me do something that has gone away. It will just show me the site if I try to refresh this. Well, I'm still going to show you the site anyway. So the site anyways is still it's not public yet, but you can have a sneak peek into it. So anyways, soon it will be. Just have a few things to finalize, and then we'll be at a place where it will be released. So that is that. Now, I had promised earlier that I was going to give you the position size calculator I use. I was going to show you, and then you'll be able to download it and also access it. So this is actually where I got that from. So the earnforex.com position size calculator. So here it is. So I think they have a download. Yeah, they have the download button here, downloadable MetaTrader Expert Advisor. So you download it. When you download it, let me just download it and let's just go through this. Good. So when you even click it, it brings you to this page actually, position size sizer. So I'm going to share this link in the chat so that you'll be able to see. But before I do that, let me just explain this. So this here, they have all the the explanation, everything literally, so you can actually just study this and understand how it works. This really becomes important when you begin to take active trades. For now, if you're not trading actively yet, you don't necessarily need this, but if you are, you can just play around with it to see how it's set up. It just explains everything. I've already explained a lot of this, at least the ones I use. Some you don't need. Some of the functions you don't necessarily need them, but I've already gone through explaining all of this and also use this. So anyways, they go into the detail. Okay, sorry, let me see. Just got information, see my screen. Oh my god, are you kidding me, guys? I'm so sorry. Wait, so I've really been just ranting like this and you guys haven't seen my screen? Oh no. This is wonderful, Jonathan. What have I done? Oh my god, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Jeez. So sorry. You know what? I haven't been looking at the chart. So because I haven't been looking at the sorry, I haven't been looking at Zoom, I really didn't realize I wasn't sharing the screen. I'm so sorry. Now I'm gonna how I'm gonna make it up for you guys. So I'll just try to highlight a few things I highlighted. Well, thankfully, some of the things I'd highlighted. Just let me know if you still cannot see my screen, but I believe you can now see it. Yeah. So I'm just gonna speak on the things I spoke earlier on. Thankfully, a lot of the things I spoke about, the speed framework, as you can see here, and the sniper framework, as you can see here, I was just talking, right? So I wasn't saying anything or showing the screen, but yeah, so I'll just highlight some of the things I was doing earlier. So first off, let's start with this what I was analyzing here. So literally I was just analyzing this to myself. I can't believe this. Oh my. Jeez. Okay, it's okay. All right, so well, so this was what I was talking about earlier. So we have here Now I can see the screen. So if there's anything, just put a chat. It will pop up. I believe I'll be able to see that. Okay, so we had here, I had here, about 10 trades. So I had said, imagine if the first trade was a loss. Of course, you heard this. Second loss, third loss, and then win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. Now imagine this were the 10 trades I took. And so that would mean that at the end of the day, let me even add one loss. In fact, let me even say the first trades were losses. Imagine you started trading and the 5 trades you took were all losses. Now, if you're not emotionally stable, if you've not worked on your psychology, you would lose it. Because you say, oh my God, the first one was a loss, the second one was a loss, the third one was a loss, the fourth one was a loss, the fifth one was a loss. Man, it's going to be like I'm going to just keep losing. You will lose it. But if you've tested your strategy and you know it works, you continue, I'm trading what you know you should be doing. And then look at this. 5 losses, just 1 win, loss, 1 win, 1 loss, and then win. So just 3 wins. And out of 3 wins plus 4 losses, well, for your wins, if you have a risk of 1 to 5, that means, assuming you're risking $1,000, that would mean that you made 5, and that's 15, and then you lost 1,000 for the 7 trades. That's 7. The difference will give you $8,000. So at the end of the day, yeah. So this was what I was doing the other time. I'm so sorry you didn't see this when I was doing this. Yeah. So but anyways, this is it. And this allows you to understand that, hey, when it comes to trading, it's a game of probability. You have an edge, and your edge is your strategy. So you follow it to the latter, and then when you allow your edge to play out, you don't skip trades. Because by the time you have like 5 losses, the tendency to skip the next setup when you see it will always show up. So you don't have to do that. You don't skip trades because you just want to allow your edge to play out. Imagine you skip this winning trade and then you have an additional loss. Now that would have been, and then you miss this win rather, and then your next trade was a loss. And then instead of taking the next winner, you skipped it again, and then the next trade was a loss. And then that's how you say, oh no, my strategy does not work. It is this, it is that. No, the strategy works. The problem was you were skipping trades. You were choosing and picking trades, right? Instead of you to just stick to your strategy. If you see the setup, you take it. And that is what trading, is about. Now, getting to that level may take, practice, experience, like I've highlighted here, experience and, real discipline. But you will get there, right? We'll all get there. And that is the whole idea, about trading. So that was what I was emphasizing there. Then I was speaking to ParutoCapital. Let me do something here, guys. I wanted to show you this. So just a sec for me to. Well, how can I hide this? High floating meeting controls. Good. Okay. Yeah. So I wanted to show you this. So let me just refresh this. Okay. So that's cool. So you have there. All right, so if you come to ParutoCapital.com, what you're just going to see is this. So I had mentioned that we're working on, on the site, and there are different things anyways that need to be in place for the site to go live. So we'll be changing this, coming soon page anyways, and just changed and all of that. But if you haven't joined the wait list, you should join the wait list so that the first information that goes out about the course, if you want to subscribe, is going to go out, because we're going to be having a 50% off. And also it's going to be a lot more. It's not just a course. It's going to be, the course is going to be a trading floor. That means a community, where like we'll literally trade. If I trade, I'll show the trade, we'll communicate more and all of that. And then a whole lot of other, benefits. So yeah, but you see that for now. But the homepage looks like, I've shown this earlier anyways. Yeah, the homepage looks like this, right? But this is going to come hopefully this January, if not maybe February. Just trying to wrap up a few things, but yeah, but that's that. Okay. So now back to the position sizer that I promised earlier. So this is a position sizer tool. So it's an expert advisor, as you can see, and it's for MT4 and MT5. That's the trading station that I showed you earlier. So everything here, describes, all that you need to know about the position sizer, as you can see, the main features. They've highlighted everything here. The interface, they've explained a lot here. You can go through this, and that was how I was able to, of course, know where to look for what when I when I was showing you, how to choose my, multiple take profits and all of those things. This was where, I got all of that information from. So you can go through this to sort of, get that. Quick risk button. So, for me, I risk 0.5 per trade. So you can set up to 2 quick risk button. So if you want to risk 0.2, you just click on it and it automatically calculates that for you. You don't have to be the manual calculation. If you want to risk 0.5, you click on it and then you have that. So this is where, I also got the information from. So you have that there, and then you have even detailed explanation about, every other thing. But I showed you early in the morning, what I just use. I don't necessarily use, everything that they have. Here, because it's not necessary for me. So yeah, so this is where, I got all of that, and, a lot of explanation anyways. So to download it, in fact, they even have a YouTube, video that you can access. So I'll be sharing this link with you. Let me just copy it. I'll put it in the chat. So they have all of that. And then what else? Yeah, so the download button, I think download button is just somewhere. Yeah, so you have that here. So you can see they have the downloads for MT4 and MT5. Just to mention that MT4 and MT5 are, the trading platforms that most brokers use, and also prop firms, use. So MT4 and MT5 are the ones used, and then they also have, the installation information. Basically, they explain, how you can install it on your platform, right? So this is it. I'm just going to show you a quick one on how to do this. So let me say I download for MT4. So this will just download this here for me. I have that there. I already have it, of course, in my system. So, but let's just say I decided to get it again. So this is it here. Just a sec. Good. So we have it here. So you can see position sizer. So you have all the information here, as you can see. So basically, it's just to copy this into your MT4, MT5 platform. And yeah, so just a sec. Let me turn on, the Windows platform I have on this computer. So just a sec for that to come up. And then I think I'd opened it on this, this Forex. So just a sec for that to come up. Excuse me, sorry. Okay. So let me put that, in the chat too. Okay. So yeah, so this was it. So this was the account, the demo account, we opened earlier today. So yeah, so this is position sizer. So now how you can see here to the left here under this navigator section, right? We have, this expert advisors. So you can see expert advisors. Expert advisors are simply just expert advisors, EAs, sometimes they call them. And you have a lot of them that people use for different things. This one, for example, is it's soft for FX, is for back testing, and all of that. So position size is already here, and how you add it to, your MT4 platform is when you open it up, you come to expert advisors, you right click, you have you go to, I think you go to files, then you go to open data file. When you open data file, it's going to take you to sorry, let me see. Yeah, so it's going to bring you here, for example. So it brings you here. When it brings you here, you click on MQL4. You open that folder. When you open the folder, you're going to see experts, and then under experts, you sort of open it, and then here you can see the position sizer. So you copy that. After you download, you just copy what you downloaded. It usually be a zip file. So you just, unzip it, right? And then you copy the folder and just paste the folder inside here. When you paste the folder inside here, I hope you still remember the process again. So you go to files, you open data folder, and then that will bring you, to your own particular terminal. It will bring you like here, you go to MQL4, you open that, click on experts, and then you paste the folder in here. Now when you do that, after you do that, you come back to expert advisors here, right click, and then you refresh, and then position sizer would now show as one of the EAs there. Then when you double click on it, it will appear on your screen like this, and then you can go on now to customize it and all of that. Now I want to show you a few things. One is how to customize this. So for me, for example, I have different settings. Now one is I have different targets sometimes when I enter a trade. So the first one is I always take my my risk off at 4R, right? So I take 25% off when price gets to 4R. So how I do that is, for me to quickly do that, I have to make sure that the terminal or the position size I set up that way. So for example, here you can see the first take profit is ×4 of my stop loss. So immediately it gets to ×4, it takes me out. 25% is taken out, and then the remaining 75% will be allowed to hit my take profit too. And how do I do that? How do I specify that it's 25% that should be taken off here under trading? Here I specify take profit 1, take off 25%, take profit 2, take off 75%. So that is where I determine, or I tell the tool how to set up my trade, right? So that is that. Now if you have this setup, you may have this setup, and you may have some other one. So if, for example, for any reason, averagely I'll always go for a 1 to 5. But if for any reason I want to go for a 1 to 4, or I want to go for a 1 to 3 trades, a 1 to 3 trade, right? I have to make sure that I also have that set up. Now to do that, I need to set up different templates and save that. I'll double click on this and this will open up. So here you have all the the inputs, and then you can inform a lot of things and change a lot of things, color, and on and on and all of that. Now what I need to do is, after I've chosen what I want, so let's say for example now I have this one set up. So let me save this. I'll save this as what's now? Let me say ParutoCapital. I'll save this as ParutoCapital 4R. Let me see. I usually name it. I have a way I name it, and that is take risk or remove risk. So I know that this particular preset is for taking off my risk at 4R. So I know that this is remove risk at 4R. So I will save that. Okay. So when I say okay, you can see it's that setup, right? Remove risk at 4R. That's what I have here. Now imagine I now want to do this for no, I don't remove risk. That means set and forget. Now I normally have all these things, and all of that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm doing set and forget. That means I have only one TP. So I'm going to change this from 2 to 1. And then the next thing I'm going to do is that instead of this TP multiplier appears to take profit button to 4, in fact, I can even leave this, because what I'm doing is this is to 1 to 4. So that means set and forget. I don't take out any risk. I just allow the trade to just play out. Once it gets to 1 to 4, risk to reward, I take my profit. So I can even leave this in place. So with this now, I can say okay. And then what happens? You can see now that the tool automatically takes out the second profit, and now you have just one profit, and it's times 4 of your stop loss. So what this does automatically is that immediately you copy your price from let's do this, right? Let's do this. Let's make sure we're doing some practical things here. Now let's look at this here. Let me go to where price is so that it also reflects the same position there. This is where price is, or this was as at Friday, right? Yesterday when the market closed. Of course, I want to know, I believe you all know the market closes on Friday, at least the Forex market. People still trade crypto. I don't trade crypto. So yeah. So let's say, for example, I have a 1 to 4 position here. Let me put my stop loss at 3 pips. And let me say I put this at 1 to 4 here like this. Cool. Okay, so this is a 1 to 4 position. So let me just copy the parameters. So if I copy price and I put price here, long, because a long position, and then I copy my stop loss and I put my stop loss. Now immediately I click this field, it's going to multiply this stop loss by 4 and automatically give me that position. So just watch. Yeah, so it has done that for me. Now, good. Now you can see that on the screen here. Now it has given me, 4 times of my stop loss, and you can see that on the screen here. Here you have, okay, I'm risking 0.5, of course, so you can see I'm risking 1,000 for 4,000. So that tells you that everything is set up correctly. So immediately you copy your price into the position sizer. You always want to look at this place, because you want to be sure that you're risking what you actually want to risk, and also you're actually going to gain what you plan to gain. So you can see that it tells me that, hey, I'm risking 1,000 with the hope of making 4,000. So that means everything's set up properly. I don't even need to think about my lot size. This is a lot size, but I don't need to even think about it, because with this risk, it's just about risking 0.5% off my account. So I don't have to do all the nitty-gritty calculation. Imagine if what you have on the account is 176,543, and then you want to begin to calculate how many lot size will give you 0.5. You don't need all of that stress. Just set this up and just click on 0.5. It automatically computes what your lot size should be. You click on 0.2, that's what you want to risk. It tells you, automatically computes your lot size, and you do what? You enter your trade, and that's it, right? So this is basically how you do that. Now, with this 1 to 4, I can now go back to this tool. I will save that preset as, usually put it as set and forget. I normally use, this is literally how I save my presets, actually. So I'll do this as set and forget at 4R. I'll leave it like this, 4R. So I know that with this, I've saved that. So anytime I see a trade, and depending on how I want to really, get into the trade, I want to take my profit. If it's just, a set and forget, I know I'll just leave it like this. If it's, remove risk, I'll just quickly double click this, click on load, and I'll click on remove risk 4R, and I'll just open it and say okay, and then you can see automatically everything set up the way I just want it to be. And then I quickly copy my parameters and put there, and then enter the trade. And this is literally how I actually do manage this. Go back to, for example, let's say remove risk, I'm sorry, set and forget 4R, and then I click on it, okay, and then everything is set up just the way I want it. So position sizer simplifies your life literally, and just makes everything a breeze when you really understand how it works. So guys, so I think that is it. So now I've spoken a lot, so I'm gonna now pause and open the floor so that you'll be able to ask your questions, right? So where is this tool again? Where are you? Let me not click on something else. I'm always struggling to, I minimize this and then I begin to struggle to find it. I don't want to click on where did I see the other time? Sorry guys. View, okay, show floating bar, good. Okay, so that is it. So let me open the floor so that you can unmute yourself and then ask a question if you have a question. So please, the floor is yours. So just unmute yourself and ask your questions if you have any question. Yeah? Over. Okay, I can't hear anything. So that means we're all good. Yeah? If you're good, just unmute yourself and say we're good. And I know that I've done a good job. I didn't hear that. Yeah, I can hear you. I wanted to find out. I missed some something. Sorry, seems your audio is not too clear. You had said you missed some part. I didn't get, which part did you miss? This has lost you. Or maybe you can type it in the chat. Type it in the chat, right? and then I'll be able to read. Yeah, just type it in the chat. Okay. Yeah, no problem. Just type it in the chat and I'll be able to read. So for others, if you have any question, please feel free to ask your question, right? So just wait for you to type in the chat. So while you're typing that, what you had asked for. So also, by the way, I also want to just tell you guys something, right? So the courses so far, all that we've been doing, has been recorded. I've been recording it and also putting it up on YouTube. So you can see here the free mentorship. So since from the first class we had 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, and today's one is going to be 107. So I've been recording this and putting this here. Of course, it's not public, so you can't actually see it now. But eventually I'm going to make it public for you guys, and also for anyone who wants to also access it. Oh, sorry. I promised I was going to share this. Let me do that first before I forget. The link to this position sizer, just in case, right? So it's there in the chat, just in case you want to have that. Okay, so yeah, so I've been recording all the videos I recorded anyways, and I've also now free on YouTube. They're not public, so you won't be able to see them, but I'll be making them public eventually after the mentorship, so that you can also revisit some of the things we've done and also have a recap on some of the things you've missed, and all of that. So just for your information. Okay. So I want to believe, of course, that you're all of course you've followed through with all the other courses. All the other free videos on YouTube, the post, the trade recap. You see all the setups. Basically, I try as much as possible to explain, the multi-time frame analysis on how the trade happened. I try to do that. So I want to believe you're also following up with that, and of course the advanced course, and then the basic market structure course. So, but yeah, so that's just for your information, right? Okay, so I'm not seeing the question. I'm not seeing the question. So is it are you still typing, or you're good? Okay. All right. Okay. So good to know that you're good. All right, guys. So I think that should be enough for today. We've really just taken some time to analyze or to talk about, more on position sizing, risks to reward, understanding the psychology of trading, that you can have a lot of losses, but if you stick to your plan, we just even of course, this is 1 to 5 is really a high risk to reward, but if you do this analysis, and all of that, you discover that it doesn't really matter if you have losses. What matters is that you don't skip trades, you follow through with your plan, and you don't need so much wins to be able to be profitable, in the market. So that's that for this. And yeah, so we've covered some of this on the speed and scaled, the sniper rather, and speed and framework. So the next class we're gonna have, I will try to go into journaling and show you exactly how do you journal your trades. And also use a Notion template to introduce you to journaling literally, and why journaling is important, because with journaling you can go back to data, you can access all of that information, and you can really begin to build your capacity as a trader. So by next class I'll be going into journaling. If there is also anything or any areas that I haven't touched, as you review maybe the your notes, you can always just let me know, and then we'll be able to build on that. So guys, it's been a pleasure. Since there are no questions, so I think this is a good place for us to put a pause, to stop, and call it a day. So thank you so much for joining, and it's been my pleasure really sharing with you so far. So thank you, and do enjoy your evening. Bye bye.